Hello, my name is Pamela Delaire, and I'll be your focus leader for the months of September and October 2017. Today we're looking at proportional dividers in art. Please turn to the first page of your Dividers and Gauges in Art document that's been supplied to you on the Facebook group. The proportional divider, also called a four-pointed or reduction compass, was designed to enlarge or reduce drawings, divide lines, and circumferences proportionally. A modern proportional divider is a tool used to transfer the proportions of a drawing from one scale to another. It is a handheld object, similar in shape to a drafting compass. It consists of two legs with points at each end. It consists of two legs with points at each end. The legs pivot at the center around a small nut which can be moved up and down the holes to modify the scale of each side. Proportional dividers are widely used by architects, engineers, and artists in enlarging or minimizing a drawing by scale. So let's look at page 2. How to use the proportional divider. How to adjust the proportional divider. The bolt and nut on your proportional divider can be removed and put into another hole. The hole closest to the tip of the divider gives you the greatest increase in size. Page 3. Sizing up a curve. To size up a curve, you'll want to use a ruler or straight edge to determine the curved shapes. Your eyes can easily compare the degree of a round shape when you compare it directly against a straight edge. Transferring angles. You can use the proportional divider as a straight edge and an angle finder. Place one arm of the divider on any vertical or horizontal line and move the other arm until the angle matches, for example in the photograph shown. You can use this against a reference photograph or in real life. The modified grid method, page 4. You need to follow along A, B, C, D on this page. A, you measure the longest side of your photo reference with the end of the divider that has the holes or the small end to increase in size. B, you're going to transfer that measurement by using the opposite end or the bigger end of the proportional divider without adjusting the divider at all. You need to hold it very firmly or have your pivot nut screwed in very tightly so it doesn't move when you go and transfer the measurement. So transfer the measurement using the opposite end of the divider, place it over your paper, and mark the points. If the paper is too small or too big, you haven't adjusted your proportional divider correctly, and you need to adjust it until the longest end of your photo reference matches the longest side of your paper. This measurement will give you the top and bottom lines of your border on your art surface. C. Do the same with the shorter side of your photo reference. So you measure and transfer, which will give you the side measurements of your border. Some people only use the outside border to transfer measurements. If you want to only use the outside border, you need to Measure from your photo reference inward and make a point, and then transfer that point to approximately the same place on your art surface. You'll need both a vertical and a horizontal measurement in that case. Item E. For a modified grid, you'll need to draw lines to connect the four corners and draw a horizontal and vertical line, like a plus sign, through the center. Item G. All measurements from the photo will be measured from the center out on any of these lines. You can also measure from the border in on any line to place a point for reference. Page 5. The connect the dots method. You need a border frame to start drawing, just as you needed a frame in page 4. So follow the steps on page 4 from A to D. You will need 2 measurements to find each point on your connect the dots. You measure with the small end and transfer the approximate location with the large end. I say approximate location because that's just one measurement. You're going to need a horizontal and a vertical measurement and combine the two to find the exact point on your art surface. You will do this multiple times, measuring each point on the reference photo and transferring each point, measuring vertically and horizontally, to the art paper. Once you have all your points lined up, then it's just like a kid's game, connect the dots. Page 6, the comparison method. To work with the comparison method, you use the size of the first shape you draw, and that size will be your comparison to draw the rest of the picture. For example, I have used this wolf reference and transferred just the size of the eye to the paper. I have not used the border outline. I am just using the size of the eye for the first object. The size of that eye will be the comparison size for everything else in the image. The site size method. This is where our student compass will come in handy. Or you just use one end of your proportional divider as a measuring tool. This method has been used by atelier drawing schools for a long time. So you're only using one end of the divider for the whole drawing and transferring measurements of the same size to your paper. And if you're using a proportional divider, decide which end you will use before you begin and make sure you don't flip it. Page 7. Working from life. This method is similar to the connect the dot method, but with only one vertical and one horizontal reference, not a whole border. This method is easily used for drawing from life by creating a visual reference to measure your subject. Hang a string from the ceiling with a small weight at the end. This will give you a vertical line to measure the distance from the string to an object. For a horizontal line, place a straight edge, ruler, or curtain rod in front of your still life or portrait setup. The important step in drawing from life is to sit or stand in exactly the same spot every time you measure. Your arm must be outstretched every time you measure with the small end of the divider or your student caliper with your elbow locked in position. This will prevent you from bending your elbow and bringing the divider or caliper closer to your eye or farther away from your eye. so keep your elbow locked in position. Let's summarize what we've learned. If you want to increase with the proportional divider, you want to use the small end of the divider and increase by transferring the image with the large end. But if you want to decrease the size, you do the complete opposite. Use the large end of the divider to measure from your reference photo and use the small end to transfer the measurement to your art surface. If you are sitting while you are drawing from life, mark the feet of the chair with masking tape, because if you are off just an inch where you sit in your chair, your drawing will not come out true. So always make sure your chair is in the same position on the floor. Make sure your easel is on the same position on the floor. Make sure you sit in the chair the exact same way. And now it's up to you to practice. Thank you so much for joining me in this focus. I hope you've learned a little something. And if you have any questions, please post it on our Facebook page. Bye for now.